Hello everyone, this is Kat and welcome back to the channel. And today we'll be talking about the drone the game, which I did cover a long time back. And back then I was talking about the arena editor. But today we're going to be talking about the newest feature which they added, which is the long-awaited drone editor. And for who doesn't know this game, it is a build and fight game very similar to Crossout in a way. In that, well, you build your vehicle and you're gonna start playing against other players. But in this case, you also got arenas that are made by the players using a giant arena editor, which is actually a really cool concept as well. But that's something we're gonna have to be going into in another time. So I'm gonna talk a bit about the editor's features, as well as show off some of my builds that I made in there. I'm not gonna do them all because I already made quite a few. I've been spending a lot of time in this editor. And we're just gonna load up actually the first build I ever made, which is actually a really pretty newy build. Which I called the Falcon. And in with this one, I had not yet figured out how to edit blocks to have a different shape than a cube. For example, this cube, if I want to make it any different shape, I do just click that and click that. And now I can click that. And well, there you basically go. You really can make them any shape you want. You can even have like those really weird double wedge shapes, which you almost never see in games, because it's for some whatever reason it's really pretty rare to see those. But in this game you have those as well, which is really nice to have. And you can even if you want to, you can extend these into directions, and then you can have these giant in two long sloping blocks, which is really cool. Yeah, and if you want to make them shorter again, you basically click at the same position, and for some reason it doesn't want to go in for this one. But oh well, then we just delete it and just plays back. Works too. And yeah, this one was really just aesthetics design initially. I started building way too close to the ground, so well, couldn't really do anything with the underbelly of this thing, except for placing this really flat thing, which apparently is clipping inside of the ground, and another pretty flat thing here as well. That said, I think we're just gonna go on to my second one and not saving, loading. I have clicked save way too many times rather than load. And, well, this one's already a lot more imposing than the previous one, isn't it? And, oh, as I said, I figured out how to do slope blocks, but I hadn't yet figured out how to do the two long slopes and etc. So there's still things like this here, which I will probably change into two long slope and then go to one long basically. That's how I would do it now. But now it's just like one in straight and one in again. But other than that, this one is basically a Star Wars Juggernaut tank made into this game. And on the front, I think really looks like a Cyclops. Like this here is the mouth, and then here you got the eye, which actually is a functional eye because it's a camera component. And supposedly you'll be able to look into from there, because actually these drones, like while you can build them, you cannot actually play with the build vehicles just yet. It really is all in early access still. And that's it. There's a Kickstarter basically. There was. I'm not even sure you can still pledge, but basically, based on those Kickstarter stuff, you can gain access to these different things, and like the ones that paid less just get access to. They still get access to everything if you pay $20 or more. I think it was, or and in the early stages it was even like $5. But you're just gonna have to wait a long time. And yeah, let's go on to the build a little bit. So there's a lot of different stuff. We got systems. We're gonna try to show some of these parts off. We got two different sizes of so-called main systems. And we got a whole lot of different camera components. We got stabilizers for flight. We got radars. So-called inventory. I'm not even sure what these are supposed to do, but they are here. Then we got temperature controllers, which probably just cool down. And well, you got a horn, this is gonna be playing some of a sound that you want. And one of the coolest thing I features actually about this game is you can mount anything at any angle. So yeah, you can mount things diagonally. You can mount things on this angle even, although the snapping turns off, which actually, by the way, you can turn on and off for anything. You can also like smooth rotate versus like rotate by 45 degrees. It's another thing you have that you can do. And you can also like put blocks in the middle or like at the edge basically. You can move them by half a block rather than an entire block, which is another really cool thing. The other thing that kind of sometimes annoys me is basically like, if our this block were a full block, you can mount it here, and then you can like turn it back into this block, and it's fine. But you cannot place it there right now because it's not a full block. And also like things like here where it's almost mounting, but not quite. Like you can't, or right here, like you would expect them to be able to mount it from this angle. But you can't because the hitbox is a full cube, and you must make it a full cube into the middle, basically, in order for it to be placed. There's one downside I sometimes run into, but regardless, uh, it's really good job from the developer side of things. Like you can get pretty close, honestly, if you just like short and diagonally. But anyways, a bit further into the build. So right at the bottom, we got some of the storage units. We got some battery system because, well, that's the energy. We got generators which basically run on fuel. Then we got fuel tanks that regenerate fuel. So you need like an X amount of fuel tanks in order for your generator not to just run out of fuel at some point. And then you have batteries that which will store energy, and like some weapons use energy. So if you're like and your movement systems also use energy, according to what I have read about the tooltip so far. So when you are firing guns, you might run out of energy if your generator cannot just keep everything up. So then you need some batteries to like you just shoot until your batteries are almost empty, and then you like let the generator just regenerate energy while you move. And because if you run out of energy entirely, you would not be able to move much. Anyways, there's like a whole bunch of batteries here. We got shield generators as well. Then we got a rocket launcher on the side. We got a anti-air turret, I think it is. At least it looks like a flak turret on the side here. Got a giant machine gun turret in the back as well. And of course, we got the big Chungus, the main cannon. A lot of armor plating on the top front. All of these plates are also armor, by the way. Got some more small energy packs right here. Another some backup cameras, more shields, even more shields. You have a lot of stuff here. You also got a radar and radar counter systems, repair functions, so like repair. And let's just go into some movement types here as well, real quick. We got hovers, and there's a whole lot of different types here. We got wings, also a whole lot of different types, and this one is actually kind of cool looking here. And then we have hovers, and we have wheels, and let's say we have boosters. The tracks and legs are currently not functional, so you cannot actually get anything from there. Same with some of these subcategories. So, for example, machine guns, you have the normal variant, and you got the minigun turret. They have shotgun turret, different kinds of laser blasters, and then you have, I think it's blasters, beam weapon. Your thrower weapons doesn't do anything. Rocket launchers, you do have those. Two different size variants. Grenade launchers, again, doesn't do anything. Cannons, you get this thing and you get the anti-air turret. And you have targeting, which is actually a targeting computer for, I think, I would assume at least the rocket launcher. Maybe the grenade launcher as well, who knows. Or maybe even the turrets would work too as well. Nails competitive weapons has a book where it locks on a golden ring. I don't even know like what that is about, but oh well. And you have a whole lot of different armor shapes, and yeah, you have a lot of freedom there. Shield generators, repair kit, countermeasures. We have a radar disruptor and whatever this thing is. This might be a trophies. Like I expect, actually like suspect this to be a trophy system, so like anti-projectile, and we apparently have a cloak system even as well. It's kind of cool, and yeah, you can really get these really big drones, and I've actually like not even sure like what the limit's gonna be, how like your limit gonna be in building, etc. Because like I see no tips about like what maximum size I can build. Basically, I'm just building at my own size basically because there are currently no limits to what you can do. You can even like I can actually make like a thing that would be actually be like twice as large as this thing and just be perfectly fine basically. If you guys want to see something like that, do comment down below and I will consider it if I have enough time to actually like start building something like that. And you know, I'm gonna like load one more build for you guys to see. I got a few more, but I want to save those for later. I'm gonna do like specific videos on those builds. But this one is my attempt on a flyer, which is absolutely tiny, real fast, supposedly, and um, it has a shit ton of items on a tiny frame. That's basically what it is. So on the bottom, we got a stabilizer wing. Then we have these two very large wings that are separated by big arms from the main structure, and they basically cover most of the structure when actually you're facing from the side. It basically covers up all the vital parts, which well may actually mainly this is the core, and we got a pair of generators in here, and we just got a small generator in the front here. Those are actually the vital components, so not entirely, I guess. But anyways, we've got the four blasters, one on top, two on the side, one on the bottom. We've got these two big shotguns. We've got some battery packs in here as well. And then we got a small radar, a shield generator. We got some stabilizers to stay in the flight more easily. Because you might actually just crash into a wall. That's actually very much a possibility. Got a jet boost in the back. And then we got a full array of ring of small shield generators. We got a cooling vent. Bunch of batteries, fuel cell as well, and we got another battery pack hidden in here. It's just a lot of stuff here, and I'm not even sure how the fuel economy and the energy economy is gonna keep up with this thing, let alone the heat economy, because these blasters definitely gonna run hot if you only got a single exhaust port basically to vent your heat. I doubt it will be any good. This build definitely was a lot of fun to make, and yeah, I'm really like currently I'm mainly waiting on like getting the functionality in here as well. But there's like actually like enough freedom here that I can actually do art builds with this build system. I can even make like World War II tanks or something probably. I can like block art those and actually be fine for the most part. So who knows? Might actually end up doing some videos on block art tanks in this game as well. Did some from Robocraft, I think. I'm not sure if I can make videos of that, but I definitely have some in Robocraft build. I'm still lying around, even though the game is dead. But yeah, uh, welcome to D.R.O.N.E and their drone build system. And yeah, you do get actually some standard. Let's actually go over to one of the drones that actually one of the developers built. And I'm not sure, actually, I don't think this will be we got a better one, I think. Yeah, this one will be a pretty good example. So we got a camera underneath here, right at the bottom of the drone, which is kind of an interesting placement. You see it has armor on the top to protect as much as possible. The inventory thing is in the bottom right here with the underbelly kind of covered. Weapons are on the bottom as well. Let's move this down. Okay, can I move any further? No, I cannot. Okay, never mind then. And this thing seems to really be focused about jet movement. And there's a lot of jets here. Booster, booster, booster on the other side there. Very large fuel tank at this back here. Here's a cooler. Here's another cooler. And we got some small wings. But I'm really not sure how this thing stays in the air otherwise. Maybe if we're gonna just, you know what, let's just take a look inside if we can directly. There we go. And it's actually hollow. Wow. So you can actually theoretically like upgrade this if you wanted to. But since it is hollow, it also kind of means that it seems like building actually is gonna be pretty friendly for this game, because like the only ways this thing has in terms of propulsion is those 4 big boosters and those tiny little wings in the back. And supposedly this thing is gonna be flying just fine. Although the developers did say control movement is like hard coded right now, and thus is not yet ready for like from the building's perspective side. So it might just crash into the ground later on. So there's a lot of questions still. But yeah, it's already having a lot of fun in this game, even by just building around and just having these really cool looking drones. Like regardless if they actually work or not, they're still really cool. So that said, I'm just gonna go back to the main menu. Really nice translation actually. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll hope you see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.